All right, boo. Let's do this. Welcome to Creepy Halloween Friday on Money Talks. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Bill Barhydt. We've got a lot to talk about as always. Well, while we're on the topic of Halloween, let's get right into the Halloween effect. What is this thing, the Halloween effect? Well, in theory, the Halloween effect is some kind of market timing strategy based on this hypothesis that stocks, crypto, and other assets perform better from October 31st through May 1st than they do the rest of the year. The strategy is also referred to as sell in May and go away. So in the October market, there's been talk about whether this effect is fact or fiction. So here's some data and a little bit of an analysis on why it might be a bigger deal for stocks than for the crypto market. So the Halloween strategy contradicts a buy and hold approach where investors ride out down months in the market. So the impact of the effect is seen in both crypto and stock prices, but the Halloween effect, while it may have originated in the UK around 1900, when wealthy families would leave large cities to go on vacation for the summer or early fall, it's something that we still look at today, over 100 years later. So historically, the theory has been proven in stocks, but the effect is not so noticeable in the crypto markets as you see here. These guys, Sven, I think his name is pronounced Bowman, Ben Jacobson, wrote this really interesting paper in the American Economic Review. It studied historic stock performance from November to April in the 70s and 80s. They concluded that an investor that used the Halloween strategy and fully invested for 6 months of the year, right, only 6 months, and was out of the market for the other half, meaning you're in cash, you would earn the best part of an annual return with just half of the exposure. Super interesting, right? So anyway, Halloween effect, if you're in stocks, it's interesting, check it out. If you're in crypto, probably not so much. Okay, so a few of you talking online about the Halloween effect. Does it affect crypto? There you go, quick and dirty on that one. Halloween and Bitcoin white paper. One of the reasons why Halloween should be on your short list for the favorite holiday, right? So in addition to the Halloween effect, crypto will obviously, and Bitcoin in particular, Bitcoin will always be linked to October 31st worldwide as the date that Bitcoin was first shared with the world. Satoshi published, I'll go with her, Bitcoin white paper on October 31st, 2008 to a crypto mailing list, or the crypto mailing list, actually. This Sunday on Halloween will be the 13th anniversary of that announcement. That's one of the reasons why Halloween will always be one of my favorite holidays. Is Halloween really a holiday? I don't know, but for me it is. We're going to go with holiday. So there's plenty of speculation about why Halloween was chosen for the release. Obviously, nobody knows for sure except Satoshi, and she's not speaking. But here's some of my maybe plausible or not so plausible theories. Halloween began as the Celtic New Year celebration called Samhain. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, Samhain. Maybe somebody can correct me there. Those of you who might be from that part of the world. It's a celebration of renewal, kind of like Bitcoin created a renewal of the monetary system, right? So October 31st also marks the day that the NSA, the National Security Agency in the US, proposed an implementation of anonymous electronic cash, which they passed on to a law firm in the US focusing on antitrust and competition back in '96. Super interesting tidbit. Also, Martin Luther and Satoshi both released their ideas on October 31st to challenge central authority. Luther's ideas obviously challenged the Catholic Church, while Satoshi sought to undermine the power of the monetary system controlled by governments. Any ideas? I would love to hear your thoughts as to why you think Satoshi might have released this white paper on Halloween. So put your comments in the chat session there if you're on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, and I'll read out some of your comments in a little bit. All right, so the other thing I was going to say is I want to try something today. Maybe you can help me out here. I'm going to go a little off script. So in the Abra app, there is your wallet ID. right? So if you go into the hamburger menu at the top left corner of the app, the 3 lines, at the top of the screen is your wallet ID. If you put the wallet ID in front of your comments, that will help a few things. One, if we decide to do a giveaway, you never know, we might actually reward you with some CPRX or some Bitcoin or something else. We'll be able to identify you. 2, if support is on the line and they need to help you, they can probably help you faster, or possibly help you faster if you have your wallet ID there. And who knows, there may be other interesting reasons why we want that. So up to you. I want to do this as a test today. If you can put your wallet ID in the chats in front of your comments, that would be greatly appreciated. And hopefully you'll be rewarded for doing that, and rewarded handsomely. So speaking of rewards, CPRX, big doings in CPRX land. Don't forget, our massive exclusive CPRX airdrop is coming on November 15th. Only 2 weeks away from this one-time massive opportunity for people to earn rewards using trade, earn, and borrow. So we developed this program called Abra Perks in partnership with this new crypto banking alliance. I've spoken about this before. The CBA, or Crypto Banking Alliance, is the organization that minted this new CPRX utility token. And to power our rewards program, the CBA has given a grant of CPRX effectively to you, our users, right? And CPRX is their utility token that promotes the adoption of crypto within the banking space. And to show our appreciation for all of your loyal usage of Abra and your future usage of Abra, 100% of the CPRX grant is going directly to Abra users. We will not sell the token ourselves. We will not profit from the token. Only you will profit from owning CPRX. You are users. I'm an Abra user just like you, so I'll get CPRX just like you for using Abra. But other than that, Abra employees or the company itself doesn't profit from CPRX, just you, our users, okay? Or us, the Abra users. You can also earn rewards for referring a friend to Abra, or just for funding your Abra account. In fact, you can get $25 in CPRX from making a referral to your friends. Just log into the app and you can get a personalized referral link. It's that little, it looks like a little ribbon in the upper right corner. You click on it, you get a personalized link. When one of your friends uses the link to download and fund their account with $15, that's all, $15, and they hold the balance for at least 1 month, both you and your friend will get a $25 reward paid in CPRX. And you can do 1 million of these. Think about it. You can invite, I don't know if you have 1 million friends, I don't, but if you have 1 million friends, or you want to basically take out ads and promote CPRX rewards and Abra, go for it. You'll get 2.5% cash back on every trade made in the Abra app, right? That's super cool. But basically, we're going to pay you to trade, all right? You're going to get more back in CPRX than you might actually be paying in a trade, in a spread on any trade, right? Where else are you going to get that deal? You can receive bonus yield with Abra Earn. All right, I'm going to give something away here. I'm not sure I'm supposed to say this. Just a little tidbit just for Money Talks viewers. Monday, we're going to be raising the rates on USD-based stablecoins to 9%. Add a 5% bonus on starting on November 15th of 5% paid in CPRX. That's effectively 14%. Where else are you going to get that deal? We're going to pay you to take out a loan. That means negative loan interest. Negative loan interest means that if you take out a loan, we're going to give you 5% back paid in CPRX of the value of that loan while you hold that loan with Abra. Right? So it's a 5% annual percentage yield back to you. Who else is paying you to take a loan? So to make it simple, everything you can do in Abra today will help you earn CPRX rewards. Super cool, all right? So once again, November 15th, 150 million CPRX will be airdropped to existing Abra users. Number one question I get from existing Abra users: do I get a benefit from having been an Abra user in the past? The answer is yes. You will get 150 million CPRX airdropped. We all will, based upon historical usage. So if you haven't downloaded the app yet, now is a very good time, and start using Abra Trade, Abra Earn, Abra Borrow. You don't want to miss this. Okay, so to talk more about CPRX, we've asked our Director of Product, Priya Challa, to join us. Good morning, Priya.
Hi, Bill. Good morning, everyone.
Great to have you here, Priya. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you.
Good. Great. Let's talk about CPRX a little bit. So how do you see CPRX as being different from other token reward systems or other reward programs that are out there?
Mm-hmm. So essentially, Abra Perks has been very meticulously designed to bring value to users. Some of you may not be fully aware, but the exercise has been in the works for a couple of years now. And unlike like traditional platform tokens, Abra did not create and is not going to sell crypto perks, right? Like Bill already mentioned, we don't make money out of giving Abra perks. So we are directing 100% of our Cperks grant from the Crypto Banking Alliance to augment the benefits that our users already get. So there's going to be 3 billion tokens that are going to be minted by Crypto Banking Alliance, and Abra is going to receive 1 billion of that token grant.
Right.
And 15% of those, 15% of that 1 billion, which is essentially 150 million, is going to be given to existing users for being loyal customers for so long, right?
Super cool. Yeah, right on. Okay. And the other question that I constantly get, so the first question, of course, is if I'm an existing Abra user, do I benefit? We already talked about that. What about the other question I get is CPRX liquid, meaning can I trade CPRX right away like any other token?
Yes. So essentially in the Abra wallet, you can think of CPRX as any other crypto asset that you're holding, and you can trade it for USDC, BTC, or any other currency in Abra wallet from at the launch, right? So we're going to enable trading of Cperks in Abra app.
Yeah, and do you foresee CPRX crypto perks being listed on other exchanges as well?
Yes, so CPRX is going to be listed on other exchanges. It's an Ethereum ERC20 token. So as of now, it's going to be on the Ethereum blockchain, but in future, there are chances of multi-chain support as well. And it is going to be listed on multiple exchanges throughout the world.
Awesome. And so I mean, it kind of answers the question. Obviously, if CPRX is listed on other exchanges, people can buy it in other places and then potentially stake it in Abra, right? So basically you can just deposit your CPRX in Abra at that point.
Right.
Yeah, awesome. And so for you, I mean, you're relatively new to Abra, right? And so what's it been like working on the Abra Perks rewards program and integrating CPRX into Abra?
Yeah, so for background, I think it's been about 2.5 months at Abra. Yeah. And from day one, it's been super exciting. Honestly, I didn't expect that this is what I was going to be leading. And it's been a wonderful journey, kind of putting this thing to life. And I know this has been Bill's vision for a couple of years. So I'm super stoked to actually make this happen.
Yeah, it's been awesome. It's like throwing the baby in the water and going, okay, now swim. And so no, you've done an amazing job. I saw the full demo yesterday of crypto perks working in the various features in the app, and it's just awesome. I can't wait for everyone to see it. It's so intertwined in all of the features that it just makes you want to do things. Like you just pick up the phone and you're like, oh my God, I need to trade, or I need to buy more Bitcoin right now. And I just, it's like manna from heaven, the CPRX coming to me. So I'm super excited about it.
Exactly. The intent was to weave it in all the products that Abra offers, so users can really benefit from actually doing all activities in Abra, right? And obviously we are doing the historical launch airdrop as well. So.
Yeah, and the other thing I can't give it away. The team yells at me when I talk about futures, but even stuff we haven't announced yet, future features are already being integrated into CPRX into modeling. So everything that we're doing from now on will have that rewards component fully integrated into it.
Yeah.
It's just really awesome, really well thought through. So anything else that we should know about on CPRX?
Yeah, there are a couple of things that I do want to highlight. So at launch from November 15th, there's a 60-day period of kind of a launch acceleration period, right? Where you will get accelerated benefits of using Abra. So like the rates we are offering on cashback on trade through the rewards is 2.5%, right? So between November 15th and January 14th, you'll get that cashback on any trade transaction in Abra. You're going to get a bonus yield of 5% on your earned products. So like, we offer 8% on USDC and I think it's 3.15 on Bitcoin. So on top of that, you will get 5% on your earned product, right?
Yep.
And
Yep.
a borrow, you will get, again, an accelerated rate of 5%, almost like a cash back if you have a 10% LTV. So it's 0% rate, right? So you're really being paid to take a loan with Abra. So this acceleration period is kind of really amazing in terms of the benefits we structured. And the other thing I want to add, which we might have already talked about in past talks, is the notion of loyalty tiers.
So yeah, we haven't really spent a lot of time on this. So explain to us what you mean by a loyalty tier and how that's going to affect the users.
Right. So essentially, loyalty tiers is based on the number of Cperks you hold over a certain time period, right? So the more activities you do and the more rewards you earn, you can potentially go to a higher tier. And as you go to higher tiers in Abra, you actually get better benefits, which means your cashback on trade, your bonus yield, and your negative loan interest numbers are going to be much higher than a lower tier, right? So we are rewarding users for being more loyal users of essentially Abra. And so that's how the loyalty tiers is going to be structured. At launch, you will see what tier you fall under in the app itself. But this period of 60 days at launch and those, the launch accelerators we just talked about essentially applies to everyone. So the tiers really come into effect from January 15th, 2022, when based on your tier, you will earn rewards.
Right. So we had a user, Howard, was asking, just to confirm, the bonus of 5% for 60 days is actually starting November 15th, just to clarify.
Yes. And it goes until January, end of day, January 14th.
Yeah, and then the tiers will be reset to be the normal ongoing rewards tiers. So the bonus or the rewards in Cperks don't stop. They're simply set to be the ongoing rewards at that point.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Okay, so keep going on. So now, why do I want to basically stake as much Cperks as possible and get to that highest tier?
So as you go to higher tier, you will get better rewards. Essentially, you will earn more rewards for doing the same activities. So you want to kind of get to a higher tier and get more rewards. And essentially, that kind of increases your value overall, right?
Got it.
The motivation to go to a higher tier.
Yep, makes sense. What else? Anything else we should know?
No, we're. I think you guys, if you haven't already downloaded, you should download and kind of take advantage of the airdrop. We still have over 2 weeks to get to that milestone, and we have referral links live. So start sharing your personalized link and earning rewards for your friends joining Abra.
Awesome. Priya, thanks so much for joining us. This is one of the coolest things. I mean, we've done a lot of cool stuff at Abra, but this is definitely one of the coolest things that we've done. And I'm super excited that we have you to manage this for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Bill, for having me. Thank you.
All right, we look forward to having you on again soon. Thanks, Priya. All right, so I want to talk about Abra Trade, we've got a couple of new tokens. I'm actually going to share my screen here. So while I'm talking, I'll set it up a little impromptu. Sorry, Mr. Wizard. I'm going to bring up my Abra app. So yeah, so we actually launched 2 tokens in the US and 1 outside the US because the one outside the US, or the one we launched in the US, we already had outside the US. So we're going to talk about Iotx and BNT, which I'm really excited about. By the way, before I do that, I'm going to show you something here you may not know about. So when I start the Abra app, you're going to see that it's using Face ID. So if you are using iOS or iPhone, we now have Face ID turned on. If you're using Android, you can now use Touch ID. Honestly, Face ID and Touch ID have completely changed how I use Abra. It starts so much faster even than using the PIN code, and it's even more secure. So you go into the security settings here in the upper left. You see where it says wallet security. I think it's wallet security. Yep. And you see where it says Face ID. You turn it on, and voila, you have either Face ID or Touch ID turned on. Touch ID obviously is predominantly for Android, Face ID predominantly for iPhone. And if you have an iPhone that supports Touch ID, you can obviously use that as well. Okay, so, and oh, please, if you don't have 2-factor authentication turned on, do it, right? As soon as the show is done, go into wallet security, turn on 2-factor authentication. If somebody steals your phone, puts it in front of your face, whatever, at gunpoint, if you don't have 2FA there, they can't withdraw your crypto, okay? Just be smart, protect yourself, turn on 2-factor authentication. It's already saved some of our users from a hassle, and you don't want a hassle when it comes to your crypto. What you want is you want it under lock and key. Okay, so that's Face ID. Now, I mentioned a couple of new cryptocurrencies. So I'm happy to announce that both BNT and Iotx are available on Abra Trade. So we listed these 2 last week. App users can add them to their portfolio. I've already done that. So I'm going to scroll down here. I think I'm still screen sharing. So you can see, did I add BNT? Let me go to add assets, and I will search for BNT. There it is, Bancor. So Bancor is a company based, I believe, in Switzerland and in Israel that is doing some really interesting stuff around ERC20 token trading. And the other one that I wanted to talk about is Iotx. And let me see if I have Iotx here. Yeah, you see there is Iotx. Iotx is an Ethereum token that powers Iotech. It's a platform that connects IoT devices such as cameras and sensors and decentralized applications. It can be used to pay for transactions, staking, governance, register new devices on the Iotech network. And you can check out the price details. It's up there on the list of the most valuable cryptos. I didn't do BNT much justice. So let me go back and talk about BNT. It's a token used by the Bancor network. It's in the top 100, I believe, for cryptocurrencies. And it's super cool, right? So it's basically, actually, technically, Bancor was the first decentralized exchange, okay? And again, the idea being that you can swap ERC20 tokens, and I'm sure I'm not doing it justice. Back channel story, I actually have been friends with a couple of the co-founders for longer than Bitcoin has existed, probably going on 15 years now. So shout out to Guy and Galia if you're listening. I think you may be. They do listen on occasion. So longtime friends from here in the Bay Area, although they live in Israel now, I believe. Okay, so look forward to seeing you guys soon once this lockdown ends. Miss you guys. So shout out to the Bancor team. We love you. All right, so obviously you're all waiting for the market analysis. So just to sum up on the token stuff. So we now have over 115, I think 120 plus tokens in the Abra app. If you're not using Abra Trade, it's just going to get better, right? You know, we've got some future updates actually coming probably late this year to Abra Trade. I'm not going to give it away now. it's just going to get better and better and better. I love it. Okay. I see the questions piling up. Give me a few minutes. I want to give some market analysis first. So I'm going to stop the share here on the screen. And I'm going to bring up my trusty charts, which all of you love. The feedback from all of you is this is your favorite part of the show. So I appreciate that. It's just, look, I keep reminding you, I don't give trading advice. I don't give investment advice. I give you my perspective on where things are going. And take it for what you will, okay? Just my perspective. Now, I've been telling you all for weeks, if not months, that I think Ethereum is going to outperform Bitcoin this year. I think Ethereum basically looks right now like Bitcoin did in 2017, right? I have some pictures. I think I showed you the pictures last week where basically it looks almost the day to the price where Bitcoin did then. And if it gets that same melt up in December, we can see 19,000 Ethereum. And I certainly have a price target of somewhere of at least 13,000 Ethereum over the next 60 days. I mean, I genuinely believe that we're going to you know, at least 12,000. Yeah. All right. All right. So let's see what else. All right, so let's look for a second at what's going on here. Yeah, so you should be able to see the Ethereum chart. Let me close this. Let's look at this, right? So basically, we were in this kind of, remember I talk about these flag patterns, right? So if I draw a line here, I'm not really supposed to do this, but I'm going to draw a line here. We had this line that was going this way, right? Let me draw this. And then we had a line that was basically going this way. And you can see that we broke out above that pattern. That is a bullish long-term continuation pattern. On October 20th, we clearly broke out of that pattern. That is unbelievably bullish. Right now, the volume in Ethereum terms is still relatively low, but the value of the Ethereum that's being traded is very, very high compared to what it used to be. So in general, this is super bullish, all right? And I fully suspect that Ethereum is, like I said, big upside to it. And I would not be, again, let me remind you all, as I go back and watch some earlier programs, you get 15 to 30% pullbacks in crypto on a bull run. I personally expect the pullbacks to be smaller for Bitcoin over time and bigger for Ethereum. Again, Ethereum is mirroring because of the network effects where Bitcoin was 4 years ago. Therefore, I expect the pullbacks to be large. Stomach them. That's what I do, right? That's if I was to give you any advice, which again, it's worth a nickel, my nickel's worth of advice, stomach the pullbacks if you can. If you can't, just sell and take profits. It's all good, okay? All right, so again, super bullish on Ethereum. Looks like we're breaking out all-time highs, and it's just gonna get better from here. Now, of course, everybody wants to talk about Bitcoin. Wow, Bitcoin is basically having a great day. Let me go to the weekly chart here and show you something. All right, so now this looks crazy, right? Now let me show you something. I'm gonna go to what I call a log chart, and I'm gonna zoom out. When I zoom out on the weekly log chart, it basically looks almost like Bitcoin is showing a straight line up and to the right. What this tells us is that we have an exponentially growing asset that has more or less been growing unabated in exponential logarithmic terms for well over 10 years now. All right, so I'm going to zoom back in, right, out of this log chart here. And you can see, right, that Bitcoin looks like it's getting ready to break out again, right? We haven't really seen a sustained close above the April-May highs, but I do believe it's coming. Do I think we're going to get, I'm going to zoom in here for a second. Sorry for the probably nauseating you with all of my giving you seizures with my chart movements. Sorry for that. Okay, so here's the daily chart, and you can see that we're still consolidating at the top of the trading range. At the same time, we still have a large supply shock going on. We do have some whales taking profits this week. That's why we had the sharp pullback earlier this week. So some whales were taking profits, but it still looks like Bitcoin is more or less trading in the range that the on-chain metrics say that it should be trading in, meaning it's not undervalued, it's not overvalued. We could still see a pullback here into this range, which I would put, in the, worst case scenario, mid 50s. But honestly, given the pullback that we had a couple of days ago, let me show you this. We had a 4-hour candle. These are candles, these red and green lines, a few days ago that basically was like 10% up and down in a couple of hours. It was insane. Now that one pullback took us down to 56,000, right? From 60,000 in over 60,000 in the same day. That is huge. As a matter of fact, it all happened more or less in the same hour. It's one of the most nutty candles that Bitcoin has ever seen. Okay, actually not as nutty as March 11th when COVID lockdown happened and we had that massive drop. But for given where we are now, I think that represented, right? That represented the end of the pullback. I think. I'm not sure. I have no crystal ball, but it does look like that was the unwinding we needed. A whole bunch of levered longs got liquidated. You've heard me use this phrase a bunch of times. What does it mean when a levered long gets liquidated? It's people borrowing money effectively to buy more Bitcoin, right? They use derivatives or futures contracts to lever themselves long. Small pullbacks can create a cascading effect, which can result in very sharp price drops if too many people have levered themselves long. That seems to be part of what happened on that pullback a couple of days ago. It wiped out all of those borrowed positions and set us up. It seems to have set us up to propel ourselves even higher. Okay. So now, in addition to that, we are seeing a whole bunch of altcoins that I track, basically showing that same flag pattern, right? That flag pattern basically looks like this, where the price is converging on a certain point, and it looks like there's a bull trend. The entire crypto market, almost the entire crypto market, is basically showing this bull flag, this pennant that I keep talking about. The entire market. I've never seen anything like it. So if I'm reading that correctly, that means that at some point in the next few weeks, we are going to have an absolute explosion in altcoin prices. So for the degens, the degenerates among us that like to trade altcoins, you're in for a hell of a winter and spring, I would guess. Okay. All right. So I'm happy to take some questions on the markets and where it's all going. Let me see if there's anything else I wanted to say here. God, there's so many interesting things going on right now. Obviously, everybody's talking about dog meme coins, Doge. Let me take a look at Doge. I got a bunch of questions there. Doge had a wild ride this week. It was up yesterday. It was up 26%. That's the biggest one-day gain in quite a while. So we're nearing the top of the short-term range. If we get a break in Doge above 35 cents, I think it goes to $1 or more. I would not be surprised when everything else that's flagging, it goes to the upside. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Doge hit like even $1.50 or $2. Again, these meme coins, be very careful. Don't bet your retirement money on them. If you want to trade them, that's what I do on occasion. I come in and out. It's fun. I do it with money I'm willing to lose, and I leave it at that, right? My investment money is in Bitcoin. It's in Ethereum for the most part, a little bit in some other L1 coins now, like Cardano, but I don't leave long-term investment money in meme coins. All right. I may trade them based upon technicals like what I'm showing you here, but be smart, please. Okay. You're not going to pay for your children's college based on Doge, or at least if you do, you're incredibly lucky. All right. Better to be smart than expect to get lucky. If you get lucky, all good, take the money and run. All right. Okay. So that's my unsolicited advice on trading altcoins. And let's go to some questions. I know I'm going to turn off the screen share. I may come back to it depending upon what questions we have today. All right, Mr. Wizard, I'm turning off the screen share. We're going to go to some questions. I know they're being teed up, so appreciate your patience. Wow, look at all these people putting their Abra wallet ID in their comments. I love it. As I mentioned earlier, it would be really helpful if you put your wallet ID in the comments. This way we know who you are. C. White, will I personally lock in any ETH gains at certain levels, or am I more of a hodler? So that's a good question. I see ETH and Bitcoin a little differently today, although that's changing a little bit. I think now that Ethereum has become somewhat deflationary in its model, I'm becoming more of a long-term hodler, but I'm more likely to take gains in Ethereum than I am in Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin will be relatively stable over time. I don't really look, if Bitcoin gets to 150,000, goes to 1 million, and then pulls back to 250,000, at that point, I don't really care. And I'm going to leave a significant piece of my net worth in Bitcoin. Ethereum, I'm going to wait and see what happens with the network. Right now, the usage of Ethereum is exploding, right? We'll see what that implies when proof of stake becomes live. I'm sorry if my answer is a little bit vague, but right now I'm not selling anything. I'm not selling anything at all. See why, just to be clear. But there is a chance that I'll be selling Ethereum in the future. And if it happens, I will certainly tell all of you, just like I've been very transparent with the fact that, you know, I went to over 50% of my personal holdings in all of my assets in Bitcoin last year. I've now divided that. I'm about, I believe, 60% Bitcoin and 30% Ethereum, and then a little bit of altcoins. And I'm adjusting that. You know, I'm slowly increasing Ethereum versus Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is still most of my, besides my Abra stock, most of my net worth is actually in Bitcoin and Ethereum still, okay? And I have no intention of changing that anytime soon. I'm irresponsibly, long, as they say. All right, let me answer some more questions here. La Mega Mundial, love that handle, says, Bill, please consider ASAP a debit card for Abra users. It will change our lives moving forward. Major banks will charge $3 to $5 for ACH deposits and withdrawals soon. Well, I hope that's not true. I think it's criminal for a bank to charge $3 to $5 for an ACH. For those of you outside the ACH, outside the US, and ACH is basically like a bank transfer. That's crazy. I hope that doesn't happen. Regarding your debit card comment, I hear you. It's something that I want. All I can say is stay tuned. And I promised the team that I would stop pre-announcing products, but just stay tuned. Okay, let's see. Scarlet Wool says, great analysis, waiting for my state to get the borrow function. Scarlett, I would love to know what state you're in, so put that back in the comments. Doesn't really matter that much because we're working on all the states, but I would still love to know what state you're in, and I feel your pain. I live in California, and California doesn't have Abra Borrow turned on yet either, so I'm in the same boat as you, and I'm really excited. California is one of the states that's coming, and obviously we will announce it here when it's live. Maximo asks, Bill, when will you add Shiba Inu to the platform? It says platform, I assume you mean platform. Maximo, let me, a lot of questions on Shiba and a couple other coins, and we get this every week. Let me explicitly address Shiba. I've spoken to our partners that manage custody for us about Shiba. They don't support it yet. I'm pushing them hard to add it. I have very strong feelings on how to responsibly and irresponsibly invest in Shiba. It's not my job here to act as big brother to tell you what you can and can't trade. I want to give you everything that you want, and then hopefully you'll act responsibly, right? Just like Fidelity doesn't tell you you can't trade in small penny stocks or over-the-counter stocks, and the CEO of Fidelity doesn't filter what you can and can't trade. It's not my job to do that, okay? So I'm pushing those folks to add it as quickly as possible so that we can add it for you. The moment it's available for us to add to you, I promise we will bring it to you, okay? It's by far the #1 request we get right now, and I only hope that you'll continue to trade responsibly as we turn on more and more altcoins. Let me go back. Some of you asked some questions a while ago. I want to take some of the earlier questions first. Just a comment from Smithy Smith. Thank you so much for adding Cardano to Abra Earn. I trust you all way, and he writes, way more than where I was holding it. Smithy Smith, we have had an unbelievable couple of weeks in terms of deposit volume at Abra. Since we turned on ADA, Cardano, and Abra Earn, we've seen millions of dollars in Cardano come in. Millions. It's awesome. Okay. Since we announced CPRX, we've seen millions of dollars in Bitcoin, Ethereum, cash come in. We're so grateful for the response. The team has a little skip in their step this week because of the response that you guys give us, right? That's what gets us excited. We love the features. We design the product that we want for ourselves, but when we see all of you use it, it makes us even more excited. Okay. Because Bitcoin is spooky, here's my wallet ID, right on. Let's see. Go Digibyte yield, yield on DGB. So Peter, it's something that I would love to give you, but we can't responsibly generate yield on Digibyte. There's simply no demand to borrow Digibyte yet, but we remain open. Somebody asked a question. I don't see it. I noticed it before, but I can't find it now. And it's an important question. So I'm going to answer it, and hopefully I'll find it and give credit to the person that asked. When I mentioned that we were raising the rates on dollar deposits to 9%, which effectively gives you 14% when you add the CPRX bonus on top, they said, why are you raising the rate? Are you doing it because you're taking more risk, or because there's more demand, or some other reason? That is a very important question, probably the most important question you can ask when you hear that rates are being raised in an app like Abra. And the answer is, we don't adjust risk in order to give you more yield. Meaning we don't take on more unnecessary risk to give you more yield. We'll either leave rates the same or lower them, because again, my money's in Abra Earn just like yours, right? And I'm in the same boat as you. I don't want Abra taking unnecessary risk to generate yield with my crypto. I'm already taking risk by holding crypto in the first place. I don't need Abra to take more, okay? So when you hear that we're raising rates, it's because the market is paying a higher interest at the same risk level that they were before. And we're able to pass that on to you, right? So I hope that makes sense, all right? So great, that was a great question. Whoever asked it, thank you for asking it. And if I find your name, I'll give you credit for that in a minute. So who made CPRX? Again, let me reiterate, CPRX is an Ethereum-based token. It was not minted by Abra. Abra was not involved in the minting of CPRX. It was minted by an organization based in Switzerland, kind of a neutral country, called the Crypto Banking Alliance. They have an official Swiss name, which I can't pronounce, but they go by the Crypto Banking Alliance. And you can go to their website. I believe it's Cryptoperks, CryptoPerks.com. And you can read all about the Crypto Banking Alliance and the CPRX token. Abra is simply adopting CPRX as our rewards token. And I can tell you, I'm really excited that a lot of exchanges are agreeing to list it, and looking forward to being able to announce who they are. I don't know all of them because I'm not directly involved in all of those discussions. It's being done by the Alliance, but my understanding is those discussions are going really well, and a bunch of exchanges have agreed to launch CPRX on them, okay? Let's see. Any update on, CWide also asked, what about BTC and ETH rates? Those rates are holding steady. Again, you're going to get the CPRX bonus on those cryptos for Abra Earn. So you're going to add 5% for at least the first 60 days, and then we'll see there are going to be rewards forever in CPRX, or at least for the foreseeable future, and we'll see what that rate becomes post 60 days. But this is a very good time to be holding Bitcoin and Ethereum in Abra Earn, in my opinion. That's what I do. All right. George asks, when are we going to get bank transfers in euros? George, if you go to abra.com, you can actually initiate bank transfers in euros to your Abra wallet today. You can do a SEPA wire into Abra. You can't do it via the app itself on the phone, but you can do it by going to abra.com, okay? You can choose which currency, which crypto you want to receive, and you can paste in the deposit address from the Abra app. You can do it in euros via SEPA wire, and you'll end up with Bitcoin, for example, or a stable coin directly in the Abra app. And you can push it into the Abra wallet that way. It works, it's super cool, it's very cheap, almost no cost, just the spread between dollars and Bitcoin. And that's actually set by a third party. We actually don't profit from that, okay? It's just something we give to you to make it easier to get into Abra. Alan wrote, I just tried Face ID. It worked great and fast, love it. I have to say, I know you can't see my app, but I just, boom, I was in. I didn't even do anything. I flicked up to turn on my screen and it immediately logged into the Abra app. It's really changed. I actually, even myself, I go into the app way more now because I know I just flick and I'm in. It's super cool. I didn't really appreciate how powerful Face ID was, and I should have gotten it earlier. And so I'm glad the team was able to get it out to you. So quick time check here. We're doing good. More comments on which tokens we should add. We take them all into account. Let's see. So lots of questions on customer service. We have really beefed up the size of customer service. I'm looking at the stats, every week for customer service. Our response times are awesome. Right? During week and business hours, for most of you, you're getting a response in less than an hour in a lot of cases, right? It's really good, all right? All right, let's see, a lot of questions here. Wow, these are the most number of questions I've ever seen. Not only the most number of questions, but the quality of the questions is really going up. So that means a few things are happening. One, you guys are really paying attention to what's going on. You're getting the basics of how Abra Earn works, how we pay interest. And so that is resulting in some really, really interesting questions here. And so I love to see the progress even on your end. So Michelle writes, love the shirt. Michelle, this is my favorite t-shirt. By the way, try wearing this at an airport. You get lots of interesting questions, comments. You get people like patting you on the back. It's pretty interesting. I actually was afraid to wear a Bitcoin shirt through TSA or US airport security like 5 years ago. Now I do it just for kicks. But even security folks will ask me, oh, do you invest in Bitcoin? What do you think is going to happen? Like I literally had somebody in airport security say, do you think Bitcoin's going to keep going up in price? Like whispering it to me, like they were afraid that everybody else was going to hear it. It was the funniest thing. And then of course I told the person at airport security, just download Abra and then watch our show and you'll find out. And that was a lot of fun. So word's getting out. I'm really excited right now. I've got it's one of the most exciting times of my career, and I just love the reaction that I get on the street when people find out that you're in crypto, you're in Bitcoin, you work at Abra, et cetera, et cetera. It's just a lot of fun. And if you have a chance, actually we have a store on abra.com. If you scroll to the bottom of our webpage, there's actually a place where you can pick up some gear. For Bitcoin and crypto, and I wear it and I'm out in the street and invariably somebody comments on something, right? I haven't really tried it with any of the dog meme clothing yet. I'm a little afraid because God knows, what's going to happen, but I probably will at some point. All right, so let's see, let me take a few more questions. Yeah, so again, if you need specifics, a lot of people asking, what they should do, what's the fastest way to get an answer from support. If you have a user specific question, not a generic question, go into the app, click on contact us, ask your question. It fills in all of the details for you to get a very fast answer. All right. Smithy Smith, great idea. I use coin tracking. Please do an API. Something we've talked about, API, for those of you who don't know, allows third-party apps to take advantage of data from Abra. Lots of security issues there, but it's something that we've talked about for lots of different reasons. When is Abra going to have NFTs? That is a very good question. And I am not going to answer it, except to say I am all in on NFTs. I love NFTs. I've been playing with them. It is incredibly complicated. Now, why am I smiling when I say something is incredibly complicated? Normally I should go, oh, it's incredibly complicated. I'm saying it's incredibly complicated. I'm smiling because that's an opportunity for us. What Abra is really good at right, is making difficult, hard to use things accessible, easy to use, maybe even a little fun. So I've been looking hard at the NFT and even the DeFi space and going, this is really interesting. How can we help all of you, the hundreds of thousands of people that have bet on us, to make it easier to bet on that? More to come, but this is something that I'm super excited about. The NFT space is going to explode. Obviously, you all saw, Facebook's announcement. They're now called Meta, whatever the hell that means. Actually know what it means, but everybody right now is all about the metaverse, where NFTs are going, owning your own data. I don't trust Facebook and Meta to own anything regarding NFTs. Sorry, David Marcus and Navi team, but I won't be trusting Facebook for my part of the metaverse, okay? The whole point of the metaverse and where this is going is that the future is meant to be decentralized. The thing that I love the most about Abra is not only the fact that it's easy to use and I trust it, it's that if I want to become my own bank and for whatever reason, I need to get out of Abra and hold that money on my own in a hardware wallet, I know that I can do it. It's my choice. And that's what the future is about. The future is about, yeah, most people will probably trust a third-party custodian banking service like Abra day to day, but you should know that it's always your choice. If you want to hold those cryptos in a hardware wallet at some point on your own, you think the world's going to shit and hey, I'm getting out everything. That's not happening right now, but it may happen someday. And the fact that you have the option to do that, right, is essential in any service you use. And it should always be one of the first questions you ask. Can I take my crypto with me if I want to? And if the, like Robinhood, why anybody would use Robinhood for crypto is beyond me. It's insane, okay? If you don't want to use Abra, fine, but please don't use Robinhood. It's not your crypto. It's their crypto. I don't even know what the hell they're buying. They may not even be buying Bitcoin for all I know, all right? If you can't own the Bitcoin outright or the Ethereum or the Cardano or whatever it is, okay, then don't use that service. That's one of the key tenets of Abra, is that it's yours and you can withdraw at any time you want. Marty writes, I would love to have limit orders. Marty, I couldn't agree with you more. I mentioned that we've got some really interesting things happening in Abra Trade. Stay tuned. All right. I am really excited. We keep talking about Abra Earn, and I am super excited about what we're working on the trading front. Okay. That is going to be awesome. And I'm going to stop there lest I get yelled at by my team. All right. Robert writes, I totally agree with you, Bill. I assume that was about my comment on owning your own crypto and being able to withdraw anywhere you want. Yes, George writes, I would love to receive notifications inside the app in a message screen. George, that's great feedback. So Abra team, I know you're watching. So George writes, I'm an Android user of Abra. I receive the notifications on my lock screen, right? But when I go into the app, the notifications are gone. That's true. So that's something that we should definitely consider. Great feedback. I know we've talked about that in the past. I don't know what happened to that feedback, but good feedback for the Abra team. We do have, that kind of history screen, right? So if you click on the Abra man, you get a history of your transactions. That would probably be a good place to put historical notifications as well. Robert also writes, are there any career opportunities at Abra? There are. So if you go to our jobs page, if you go to the Abra's site on LinkedIn, there are lots of job openings. I mean, I think we're 6x more people. Like we've grown the team by like 500% this year, maybe even more, right? Not only are all of our revenue and profits and assets under management, I think we're at like 1.2 billion now, by the way. All those numbers are not only up, but the employment numbers are up. You all met Priya earlier, who's done a great job on the Cprx team. We've got other folks in product and engineering. We didn't have a marketing team a year ago. We've got a whole marketing team at Abra now. We've got folks helping me with the show. When I started Money Talks, it was just me, right? Literally broadcasting on my own, trying to figure it out. We've got actually a couple of people helping me here now. There's folks behind the scenes here helping me answer questions, support team on the line. Abra is just a whole new team now. It's just amazing. The folks that have been with us for years since the beginning, you know, we've got all these friendly faces around helping us now and moving the company forward at just an awesome rate. This is a good question, especially for those of you in Europe. ABC writes, will Abra ever accept transfers from Wise, which is it used to be known as TransferWise? I believe the answer is yes. I don't have an exact time frame on that, but I believe that at least in the US, you're actually going to get your own account number at some point in the Abra app. Again, I'm probably not supposed to say that. And I believe at that point, you'd be able to deposit from places like PayPal and TransferWise. Okay, so hopefully I'm not giving too much away, but you should have an advantage for joining Money Talks, in my opinion. Meaning if you're willing to give me your time and listen, you should basically get some information that no one else gets, right? Especially since we're not a public company and there's no insider trading. So I think that's pretty cool. XRP Minion wrote, limit orders would be awesome. I totally agree. All right, so let me take two more questions. I'm getting a little tired here. I've got a Halloween celebration to start. I hope all of you, by the way, I've got my Halloween costume of the Joker. You see the resemblance? So I don't even know if this is showing up on the screen because of the green screen. Probably not. Anyway, let me see if I can get it in. I can't do it. Anyway, I got my Joker costume ready. I'm going to the Pumpkin Fest with a bunch of folks later today, and it's down in LA. If you have not seen this Pumpkin Fest in the Santa Monica Mountains, it is unbelievable. You have to see this thing. If you are anywhere near LA, by the way, hit me up on Twitter if you're going to be in LA and you're going to go to the Pumpkin Fest. It's unbelievable. It takes a couple of hours to walk through it, and you've never seen anything like it. Like what they do with these pumpkins is insane. Okay. Let's see. Oh, yeah. C. White wrote, thanks for the Twitter recommendation, especially on Will Clemente. Will is amazing. This is like, I think Will is like 18 or 19 years old. He basically builds on Willy Woo's work for on-chain analytics. He's now taken time off of college and is permanently focusing on on-chain analytics. He goes on Palm Show every Friday. What an amazing kid. I can't wait to see what happens to this kid in the next 4 or 5 years. And he's so well-grounded, so well-spoken. I couldn't speak when I was his age. Never mind talk about on-chain analytics and just do what he's doing. So I totally agree with you on that, C. White. Thanks for the comments. Patrick asks, any comments on the smart contract competition, DOT versus Cardano versus Solana? Yeah, so Patrick, this is one of the things I'm most excited about. And the fact that we're moving to a multi-chain world. I spent a little bit of time looking at Rune this week, which is Thorchain. And Thorchain is super interesting, right? It basically allows you to do on-chain, or I should say, swaps, atomic swaps of L1 cryptocurrencies, right? So you can swap different, like you can swap ETH for Bitcoin without going on a full exchange. And because I think we're going to live in a multi-chain universe going forward, where Cardano seems well suited for enterprise applications, Solana seems really well suited for games and NFTs. Ethereum looks really well suited for more expensive, high quality applications like stablecoins, right? Like DeFi. You know, we're going to be in this multi-chain universe, and I think it's awesome. You know, and it's part of the metaverse. The metaverse is not one specific place. It's a series of parallel universes, to extend the analogy, that are all going to interact because you're going to own your stuff. I could take my NFTs and move them from kind of this VR world to this VR world, right? Or my stable coins come from this world to this world. My gaming objects go from this world to this world because you own it. Meta doesn't own it, or Facebook doesn't own it. Twitter doesn't own it. Apple doesn't own it. You own it, right? That's what I love about this whole kind of metaverse thing as it relates to L1. I'm giving you more than what you asked for. Sorry about that. Yeah. So, all right, we're going on 1 hour, and let's see. So, so C. White says, can we buy Rune on Abra? That's a good idea. We'll take that under advice. And Catherine asks, any last recommendations on specific coins? Catherine, let's do some specifics on altcoins next week, and I'll spend 10 to 15 minutes just talking about altcoins. All right, the last question, LA conference. There's no in-person meetups as of now. I will be in LA. If something comes together last minute, I will post it on Twitter. So don't forget, follow me on Twitter, Bill Barhydt. Follow Abra on Twitter, Abra Global. Press the subscribe button here. I will be doing a keynote on crypto perks at the LA blockchain conference next week. So hopefully you'll register for that. We're actually giving away some crypto. And if we do any last minute meetups, we'll let you know. We were a little disappointed as the title sponsor that they went virtual, but we understand, we're still in the lockdown. We got to do our part. And so hopefully next year, if we're the title sponsor again, we'll get to do it all in person. All right. But follow us on social media, and we will let you know what happens last minute. All right. So thank you all so much for the support. We really appreciate it. The team is super excited about everything going on. Thank you to the Abra team for all the great work. Happy Halloween. Enjoy your trick-or-treating, and hopefully you all got some cute Halloween costumes for yourselves and your kids. And with that, have a great weekend, and we will see you next week on Money Talks. Thanks, everyone.